Hello, everybody. Excuse me. My name is Devin Harris, and today I'll be briefing you all on the film Remember the Titans. First and foremost, I wanted to give a formal apology for my rather late submission. I attended Troy's commencement ceremony on Friday morning, and we stayed till Saturday evening and just did a little celebrating. I also misread the due date on the assignment tab. I figured it would be due on today, just like the other one, but I misread it. So not only to Dr. Shannon, I wanted to extend my apology out to the group as well. So also, I wanted to wish all you mothers a happy Mother's Day. Of course, this being a rather important day, we wouldn't be here without all of you. So all you fantastic mothers in our group today, happy Mother's Day. Okay, so again, my name is Devin Harris, and I'll be briefing you all on the film Remember the Titans. This movie was a rather great film that displayed cultural dynamics resulting from the diverse organizational cultures. During this particular time period, civil rights began to spread throughout the country. With the new head coach being an African American man, there was no tougher task for the team to not only overcome the racial tension around the group, but also in the surrounding environment. Throughout this briefing, I'll be covering what I believe the core leadership styles of Coach Boone and Coach Joe Starr, and why I selected them, what leadership styles I would emulate. I'll select a particular scene and describe the type of follower depicted, as well as the type of leadership style and correlation, and some of the cultural concerns the leaders had to address to move the team towards desired change. This film gives an amazing insight on the cultural tension during this troubling time in American history. But more importantly, it shows how powerful of an impact there could be from the proper leadership. Coach Boone and Coach Yost were both not only great coaches, but also they were honest men with great morals and ethics. Coach Yost, I believe, displayed more of a transactional leadership style. His employees and players followed the direction and leadership from himself, and a lot of the times they either received some type of reward or some type of punishment from their performance. Coach Boone, however, he used a transformational leadership style, which made the biggest difference, leading the team towards an undefeated season, and more importantly, overcoming the racial tension abroad. If the diversity wasn't present for Coach Boone at this particular time, in my opinion, I don't think there wouldn't have been the opportunity to apply his rather hard yet life-changing leadership style towards not only a group of boys, but towards the team as a whole. Him working with Dr. King at one point in time, I believe, also gave the audience the general ideal of him being a man of rather good intention. So right off the bat, a sense of change was ideal. The leadership style depicted in the film, and that I would want to emulate would be those of Coach Boone. I would want to imitate his particular style because he acted as sort of a father figure to these group of young men. Me personally, I would love to have children and teach them many things, from the teachings of Christ to just a general aspect of everyday life in society. You know, I've always thought a child simply portrayed their parents. So, you know, there's no better way of getting a good aspect of a person than their children, per se. But at any rate, Coach Boone turned two culturally different groups of young men and some adults into one big family who looked after one another and learned to see a person by not their skin color, but by their personality and character shown by simply getting to know one another. I'm not exactly saying Coach Yost didn't have a leadership style that would be beneficial to a group of followers, but again, in my opinion, Coach Boone, he made the biggest difference by simply being himself and applying his approach towards growing and misguided minds to form a rather successful football team. According to Kelly's followership description, the scene I chose would be the particular scene Gary decided to cut his rather good friend Ray. I chose this scene because it was obvious Ray didn't block for the quarterback Rev. And that had been happening for a decent amount of time. But it was this particular time Rev actually got injured. And, Gary didn't really like that. Gary didn't appreciate that. So he decided to approach Coach Boone about letting his good friend go. In this situation, I would like to think of Gary as an effective follower. He's high in critical thinking. He's being the same team captain. Him being the team captain, I'm sorry. He has an extremely active role, so making an imperative decision such as this had to be done. The leadership style utilized from Boone is still transformational, of course, and his particular interaction was extremely important at the given time because people were starting to get hurt. Change needed to happen sooner rather than later. And if not, it could have been a lot worse than Rev getting injured. It could have been a lot more people. Some of the organizational cultural concerns Coach Boone and Coach Yost had to address in order to move the team towards the level of desired change would again be the fact that the country was going through the civil rights movement. And so keeping everyone from both physically and emotionally harming each other was a huge concern. I think what was most beneficial to the team had to be the two coaches coming together and getting along with one another. This showed the group that although two coaches coming from two extremely different backgrounds, and not to mention Coach Boone technically taking Coach Yost's head coach position, they could still come to an agreement and learn to respect each other like civil men should do. And that showed a lot to me as well. I've seen this movie countless times throughout my throughout high school. We probably watched this maybe 20 times, give or take. But each time I watched it, I would get goosebumps because these two men were the center of it all. If they didn't come together and decide to work together as a team should do, or rather grown and civil men should do, then none of this would have happened. So kudos to Coach Yost and Coach Boone. As I conclude, I went over what I believe the core leadership styles of Coach Boone and Coach Yost are, and why I selected them. What leadership styles I would emulate. I selected a scene and described the type of follower depicted as well as the type of leadership style and correlation. And some of the cultural concerns the leaders had to address to move the team towards the desired change. Herman Boone was faced with probably his most difficult task in his career. His ability to capitalize from the diversity and create a forever changing outcome for his followers in the surrounding environment makes him an outstanding leader. Herman's presence gave this one time a taste of the upcoming changes to take effect in the country, and without his leadership, it may have taken a lot longer for this cultural tension to turn into a cultural transformation. Again, my apologies to you, Dr. Shannon, and to my group. I apologize for the submission being a rather late one. And again, I want to extend my wishes to all you mothers. Happy Mother's Day, okay? Thank you.